this could be the same answer. It could be different teams, but who do you personally view as the Wild's biggest rival, and who is the team you hate most?
That's a good question. I mean, for both answers, for me, it's between Winnipeg and Chicago.
Okay.
Vegas gets close in the who you hate most for me. They might be there. They might be 3. I feel like right now, just with the lack of talent in Chicago, it's been Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I do think a good Minnesota team and a good Chicago team will have a good rivalry. I really do. And I think at a certain point when Chicago comes out of their rebuild, hopefully it's not for several years, I think it'll get back to that being the biggest rival. But I'd be tempted to say that Winnipeg is the biggest rival right now, just based off of the intensity of those games, the amount of drama that can come with those games, whether it's with Hartman or Stanley. I think they're probably number 1 right now.
That's very reasonable. And yeah, as far as team you hate the most, for me, it's not even team, because I guess you could like split that even further, like parse it to the team you hate and the fan base you hate. I've never really hated the Blackhawks as a team. I despise their fan base. Despise them. I went to a college that like was almost 50% sourced from the greater Chicagoland area, which like if you live an hour outside of Chicago, they'll tell you they live in Chicago. But the amount of people that are like diehard lifelong fans and couldn't tell you a single thing about the team before Kane and Taves showed up, like I wrote that fan base off so fast. And there are exceptions. There are always exceptions. There's the 10% extreme on both sides that kind of get the most shine when most people kind of fall somewhere in the middle. But I will always despise the fan base of Chicago. I don't know that I've ever hated the team, whereas like I feel like Winnipeg fits that mold way more. The Blues fit that mold for me quite a bit, and Dallas too, but like I would never call Dallas a quote unquote rival because we're their bitch, in fairness. But I don't know, Z, you're not a quote unquote like Wild fan. Like obviously you cover the team and you still care about them and support them. But outside looking in, like who is the biggest rival for the team? And then I want to pose it to you too, just in general, who is the team you hate the most aside from being a Wild sport? Like, I don't care if it's Boston related. I don't care if it's just general. I fucking hate these people. Yes. Beach, Naperville Truth or Naper Thrill.
I mean, like, I don't know. I think with Minnesota specifically, rivalry wise, I think every Winnipeg game ends up being a fucking war. But they played Dallas a couple times in the playoffs. It's one of those two, probably like going back before this current era, it would have been like maybe like St. Louis, Chicago. Chicago was just like a bully, like from like what 20.
Yeah, that was never a rivalry.
Until like 20.
They owned us.
It was just mean, but like the highlights for like the home games that they won against the Blackhawks, like early 2010s, were electric. But the team I hate the most is probably Vegas, dude. I just can't fucking stand those motherfuckers. And I just like
hate them and love them for existing. We needed a villain.
I love their approach to like hockey, but I hate them. Like I love that. Like we'll fucking send anyone away. We don't give a fuck.
We're
gonna sign you. Yeah, we're gonna draft you like top 15, and we'll trade you 8 minutes later. We're gonna sign you and then trade you immediately. Like we don't care. Hey Pietrangelo, you're gonna retire now. Actually, he's like, what? Okay. I thought I was gonna get at least like 3 more minivan deals.
No, now he needs the conversion van.
Yeah, but I think that's like. I'm trying to think of other like what other. I'm trying to think of like teams that they've played the last few years, Minnesota specifically. where it's just like ends up being a complete and utter shit show.
I think
Like,
Vegas
physically.
falls in that category. I think
now Vegas might
for-
be right there with the last playoff too.
Totally. Physicality, I do think that Winnipeg is the team just because that's where the injuries have come about. And then you've got the Superman punch from Foligno. You've got I think my favorite thing of that rivalry is the Hartman trying to get caught on the wire from Perfetti. That was very fun. I think if we go like historically, Avalanche absolutely have to be there. It's just like of late, it hasn't been much of a conversation because they've just been that good. And we also haven't met up with them in the postseason. The one that's fun for me going back, and this is going back further, there was a stretch where there was a lot of hate with the Ducks when they were good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was a physical, gritty, like no fucks given postseason rivalry that carried into the regular season and got very fun. It faded obviously because of both teams standing, but I don't know. For me, it's hard to not think Chicago, Winnipeg, St. Louis in any order, depending on just the year and what's unfolding. And the Chicago one, it is very funny that Chicago Blackhawks fans just felt the need to tell the world how bad Brock Faber is during the Calder race.
Oh, and it was even like more than just during the Calder race because I can't remember, but I want to say it was during the Four Nations last year. I mean, he was like Faber looked good during Four Nations, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm a Wild fan,
Bedard played pretty well in that too, didn't he?
Yeah, but I just remember seeing like a lot of Blackhawks fans kind of giving him shit and saying that he wasn't living up to the role that he should be playing, that he was shouldn't have been on the team, and I found that crazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think
he was like playing, but yeah, he was like playing with like Slavin. It was those two. It's like we're giving up nothing.
Unfair. I would do very horrible things to get Slavin here. That would be too good. All right, this one we can kind of roundtable too, but I'm always curious to hear from people. And the first two can be the same technically, but like, who is your favorite Wild player ever? And if it is a pretty big name, I want you to give me a deep cut. Give me a guy that's like not a big name as your like hidden gem kind of guy. So you can have a separate one there, or it could be the same guy. And then I kind of want to know a player that you irrationally hate. It doesn't have to be current. It can be historical, but like, I feel like everyone's got like the player that it's like, I shouldn't hate them, but I do.
Yeah.
Go in any order you want.
Yeah. I mean, so I obviously I've been a Wild fan all my life, but I really started paying closer attention like, 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
So I do have a more modern view on it. I would say, favorite, it's that's tough. I have a feeling, and this is like getting ahead of myself, Buium I think is gonna be my favorite.
Sure.
He will be eventually. I was fully on the Buium trade. I had, I was telling people, if we get into the lottery, there's a good chance, maybe we move up and we can get Buium. I've been team Buiums for a while. But I also I love watching Jared Spurgeon play. It's so enjoyable to watch a guy who's that smart and who works that hard. He will always be one of my favorites, just because I think he shows what true effort and I know grit is a word that the Wild throw around a lot, but I think his style of play, while it's not physical, it's gritty. He does what he needs to do every time that he's out on the ice. Deep cut. I mean, man, I like I said earlier, I loved Calen Addison. Like I was so in on Calen Addison. I said it to my dad all the time. He still gives me crap about it. He was my guy when he was in the system. I was all talking up how great he was going to be. So yeah, I think I think Spurgeon's a good one for like a favorite guy, with the caveat that Buium will become my favorite guy in probably not too long.
Nice. No, that's very fair. Z, I think I already know your answer, but who is your favorite Wild player ever?
You think you know?
I do.
Brodeen.
Yeah. The jersey that you've had behind you forever. The guy that you say, that's the reason that I ever paid attention to the boring ass Wild.
Nope, that's not why.
I did pivot that too, but you've never called them boring. You always rebelled against the idea that
not even that. The reason I actually even started paying attention to the Wild from the jump in the first place is a deeper cut than that, dude.
Oh, all right.
My guy. My boy, dude. The one, the only. Shootout, slap shot, breakaway specialist.
Oh no. Wow, he's like an honorable mention for my irrational hate players.
What? Hold on.
He's a great player. Again, it's a rational hate for a reason. I am acknowledging that it's irrational. I did not like him.
Brian Rolston.
Today, I would appreciate the hell out of the Brian Rolston clap bomb on the shootout. At the time, I hated it. I fucking hated it. I don't know why. I didn't like it.
So favorite all-time Wild player, Jonas Brodeen. Deep cut favorite player of all time. The reason I started paying attention to the Wild more than any other team other than the Bruins, Brian Rolston. Favorite player that was briefly, actually, I guess he was here for a couple of years. Danny Heatley, funniest fucking player of all time.
Funny existence.
Love him to death. And it's so easy for me to pick the player that I've hated, still hate, will always hate, will never like, was disgusted when Minnesota got him. Fucking Matt Cook. Fuck him. Fuck his whole fucking life. Hate him. Despise him with a passion that burns, that especially is ignited because he ended Mark Savard's career, basically. Hate him forever, which is funny because actually that ties me and you together. But I fucking hate that he ever put on the fucking Minnesota Wild jersey. So favorite player that like isn't actually my favorite player, but I love that he played for Wild, Danny Heatley, favorite player of all time. Jonas Brodeen, love Brian Rolston. The reason I listened to or started paying attention to the Wild after the lockout. And then Matt Cook, fuck him.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who would say that. I think Ottawa's got you trumped on that one.
Yep. Yeah, the fucking stepping on Carlson's Achilles. Yeah, that'll do it.
Well, Z, let's see if you can recall. Trivia question. Who is my favorite Minnesota Wild player ever, who also is my deep cut Minnesota Wild player?
Rem Pitlick.
Damn it. All right. I will grant you yes, but that is not my answer. But that is also accurate. So fuck. Nope. It is the deepest cut. Like it's right there with Rem Pitlick. He played a few more games. And Mateo nailed it there. See, Mateo pays attention to me. Literally, the minimum 10 shootout attempts holds the record for shootout percentage in NHL history.
Hold on. What years?
He scored 8 out of 10 shootout attempts. He played for the Wild. I believe it was 06, 07, and 07, 08. I might be off by a year. He's with us for 2 years. And he's just like Mikko Koivu. He only played for one other NHL team, and it was the Columbus Blue Jackets. He'll forever be my Minnesota Wild goat.
Oh, wait. This is going to piss me off if I don't get it. Oh, my God.
Ooh. I am getting summoned for chaotic child upstairs, so I have to bounce here in a second. I'll give you 1 second to guess, and then I have to jump, and I will let you and Mateo decide how much longer this is going to ride out. Simon, you're absolutely welcome to stay on here. I am unfortunately have a crazy toddler.
I'm just
I will-
thinking of
well, he's
2 years with a Wild. Like Dimitra, that's it. Or is it? Oh God,
It's
He
a
doesn't do
defenseman.
shootouts, though.
And I'm going to say the guy that I irrationally hate, kind of rationally, I always was not a fan of Mikhail Granlund. He was never my guy. We've talked about that plenty on
That
here.
was easy. I knew that one. Yeah.
My favorite player in NHL or Minnesota Wild history is Petteri Nummela.
It was new.
Petteri Nummela, baby.